All right, here we go. Okay. Hey, folks, welcome to Pow-wow Stream. With me today is hey, Cal,
Hello, hello.
and joining us is Messiah.
Hi. I have like one Indian ancestor, so I technically qualify to be on the stream.
Well, that's more than
Well, I mean, you didn't just show up. We actually invited you, so like it's
Yeah,
different, man. Don't
I
worry.
know, I know. Yeah, I know. Colonizer getting invited into the tent. We all know how that goes.
hey. At least you don't have blankets with you this time. That's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, at least I have more Native American in me than Elizabeth Warren.
That is true.
So how you doing, Messiah?
I'm doing pretty good after getting killed by Jack. I'm no longer allowed within 25 yards of Twitter. They
Hmm.
have a restraining order against me. Evidently, my opinions were a little too controversial for them. So
They hit
yeah,
you the IP ban or what?
yeah. I think it's just like a sort of thing where they just recognize my address, and anytime I try to create an account, within 10 minutes or so, it's just like your account has been suspended for. And I'm just like, oh, okay, thanks. That's really great of you.
I thought it was funny. Once a guy on Twitter was just being a douche, and he said, have fun giving Twitter your phone number, thinking like I guess like I was a bot or something. It's like, yeah, have fun finding out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a window, dumbass. Like I gave him my phone number as soon as I like got on Twitter. It's been on there the whole time
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
because I
I mean, I
signed up.
never
I
really
signed up through the
agreed
phone
with
app.
that.
I didn't sign up through the web
Yeah,
browser.
yeah. Well, I mean, I never really agreed with that whole aspect of it either way. Just like, oh, we need your email address, but also your phone number. But if you want to unsubscribe from text alerts, that's fine. But we're still going to forward your number over to advertisers so that we can make some money on from stealing your phone number because you had no choice but to give it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you so much for that.
Hey Terry. Hey Mr. Dax. How's it going? So do we want to just jump right into it, or did we want to just kind of bullshit a little bit?
Um.
Because I'm good either way, man. It's a lazy Tuesday for me.
Well, it's been a while. Let's at least
Catch up
catch up a
and
little bit. See how have things been lately? Have you been pretty busy?
talking to me,
Uh,
Messiah.
yeah, I was gonna say.
It's an open ended question. Like,
Well,
Um, oh, go ahead, Campbell.
I was gonna say, like, I openly admit on every stream how lazy I am. Surely you can't be talking to me.
well, it's sort of an aside. Like, you might one day have a story, but typically it's for the guest.
Generally, it's just opinions.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
don't know.
Messiah.
I've basically just been trying to kind of rebrand myself. You know, I've been more or less leaning a little bit more into like my mythology channel and stuff like that. I've been doing a lot of work into that, purchasing a whole lot of new books and stuff. Just trying to get all the necessary materials together to make that as good as I can, and it's really been paying off for me. I just hit 525 subscribers today.
What kind
Nice.
of mythology you doing? Like just generalized? You doing anything specific?
Um,
Greek, Roman,
I mean,
Germanic,
I
Norse?
definitely like, yeah, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none. But as of right now, I'm kind of looking more into like the Mediterranean based faiths because they're all kind of inbred in that region of the world. Like the Sumerians influenced the Babylonians influenced the Persians. The Persians influenced the Greeks, the Macedonians, and the Israelites, and then all those influenced the Romans, and so on and so forth. So,
Oh, so you're going way back.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, we're talking like, Christ, what is that? 5,000 BC or so
Oh wow.
to the first recorded city in the world, Eridu, in right beside the Euphrates River, right where it meets the Mediterranean. So just kind of studying how humanity evolved from animism into, actual personified gods of certain aspects and stuff. So it's been interesting to look into it.
Oh, do you have a link for that channel handy, man? You want to throw that in the chat? I'll definitely give that a look.
Sure. Hold on. Do I have a wrench?
Or if you don't have it handy, just drop it in the Discord later.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I need to switch over to my to my main channel, as it were, just so I can grab that link. Yeah, I'll have it for you in just a second. I just need to.
Oh yeah, no sweat.
Yeah. Oh, but Johnny needs to give me a wrench first.
I suppose I should do that.
There you are.
You want to? I was gonna say you want to make it easier for me. So
Oh no, yeah, no, I just did.
There
I
you
just
go.
did. Don't worry about it. I just had to switch over my accounts first. Is this?
yeah, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. And let me go ahead and grab that link for Camel and anybody else who might be interested. But yeah, that's basically what's just been going on with me.
Hey, Richo, how's it going? Oh, you're just supposed to go live. Ah, well, we beat you to it. Well, I mean, what good is living in the future if you can't beat us to a stream, man? Come on. Now, the first thing that I thought we could talk about was just the insanity on Twitter that I'm sure a lot of folks in our circle have probably seen going around with the crazy masked lady on the train. I don't know about you, Masai. I don't follow Ashley Sinclair, but enough people, I guess, that I do follow, how it works. But
yeah, no, she's a lot of people like to follow the conservative lady with big boobs. It's natural.
I mean, I haven't seen anything, from her is like totally disagreeable, or it's like anything that was more like a kind of a duh.
Well, I mean, she kind of leans more into like that agreeable sort of conservative personality, where it's kind of like, she always kind of like plays it to like the more common sense sort of thing, not so much as much as like a part political divide sort of issue conservative. You know what I mean? It's
Terry apparently follows her just for the TNA, I guess.
No.
He says that he follows her because she's hot as fuck. Well, that's
understandable. Have a good day.
Yeah. But no, apparently she witnessed a person harassing a couple of dudes on a train because they were not wearing masks. And in her video, she points out that these dudes are sitting in a car drinking coffee. They're sitting at a table in their train car drinking coffee. How are you supposed to be wearing a mask while you're doing that? And this person was acting ridiculous. Got the conductor involved. Johnny has the videos. I've got them on the side chat.
Yeah.
I think the second one down is the first video of the lady being crazy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we won't be able to hear it through the StreamYard, but the audience will be able to on YouTube.
Yeah, let's see if I can get this queued up. Share screen.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Now, first of all, that shot at the beginning of the video before he hit play.
You have 70
tell me that doesn't say,
Well, they're not.
Looks like it was out of a horror film.
These men are just drinking coffee.
And I don't know if you said you're not on Twitter anymore, but Messiah, so you've been spared this lady's voice.
I've been banished.
You know what's safer than a mask?
Well, just in the nick of time too, man, because this
Social
lady
distancing.
is ridiculous.
That's more effective than the mask. So why don't you step back and leave them alone?
It's supposedly this is what classifies as famous anymore, is if you have 70,000 followers on Twitter. And I don't know, I haven't seen too much besides what you guys have shared with me so far, but for the most part it just kind of looks like your standard run-of-the-mill sort of,
would you like me to call the police?
Black Lives Matter, gay rights, wear a mask, that sort of mentality that just gets repeated over and over again, and just bashed my skull in to the point where I just felt like, yeah, okay, I fold.
Well, it just makes you wonder. Also, it's like 70,000. That person has 70,000 followers on Twitter. Makes you wonder, like, if I actually put in the effort of scheming on algorithms and parodying the right buzzwords and shit, how many people could I get following me? How many lemmings could I get if I decided to actually make a go of it and not just be an asshole, yelling dick jokes from the cheap seats?
I imagine quite a few.
But the third link I down, Johnny. So the next one down after that one is the second video of this lady coming up to Ashley Sinclair directly after she posted that first video of a crazy masked lady, getting upset because Ashley Sinclair's got like 380 some odd thousand followers. And they did to her exactly what she planned to do to those two dudes drinking coffee. Made fun of her.
Oh, you see, I can't see it on my end because it says the following media includes potentially sensitive content.
Oh.
And of course, I can't even change my settings either because,
banned.
Shadow banned. Exactly.
Yeah, I tried looking you up and putting you on the tweet.
Well, I mean that's the teal deer version of it. If you can't actually view it for whatever reason, I haven't gone back and looked at it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the masked nut who I posted for harassing me on the train for drinking coffee found my social media and proceeded to waddle over to my seat and call me a Nazi and a doxing bitch.
Okay. In the year of our Lord, 2021, can we all finally agree to stop using doxing in a way that it does not apply? Hey, Becca, how's it going?
You fucking doxing bitch. You Nazi bitch.
Because this is ridiculous.
You doxed me.
Yeah, I mean,
not
just
dox
filming
you.
somebody, it's not like I
No,
can
I
run
did.
a
I
facial
posted a video
scan
of
on
you.
this lady, and
I posted
I
a
mean,
video of you.
maybe I can. Maybe I have that,
On your
you can run a facial scan on her, and maybe
Well,
all of her
everybody knows
personal
now
information
your
is in, like, the
Nazi
FBI's
friends.
database
You
for
are
whatever
concerned with
reason,
MAGA
but
friends.
This
that's
is
not
not a good look,
doxing.
You're a lowlife.
Well, first of all, like, none of this lady's personal information was given out in that video.
Or
Yeah, I don't know her name.
Why?
The only reason why
Because
we know her name now is
Yeah,
because
She ousted herself.
she tweeted about it.
She put the video of me. 5,000.
Oh, she's been a member since 2008.
Get the fuck away from me.
She's a veteran of both culture wars, I bet.
Get away from me. Stephanie! I think he's about to punch me. Look out.
He's not
Like,
even
that's the
near
most
you.
aggressive I've seen anybody in a
He's
Canadian
not even
tuxedo
near
in
you.
I don't know how long.
You're blocking my way. Get the fuck away from me.
Now, I don't know if we mentioned this yet, but
Mega asshole.
you can see kind of in that video
this woman
of
just came up
either
to
one of these two videos that she has a bicycle helmet with her for no discernible reason.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe they're on an Amtrak to DC, where I think there's a Trump event happening. That lady also on her profile, it says she's credentialed press. She has been
Of course.
on Now This, which
Oh, wow,
yeah.
the most legitimate form of journalism imaginable.
and Getty, I think, as well. I'd have to pull it back up on Twitter instead of looking at it through Chrome.
I have been neglecting the chat.
Yes, you have, Johnny. Hey, Will, how's it
On
going?
medium.com. That classifies me as a journalist, right?
But I thought that was hilarious. Let's see. There she is. Okay. Oh,
Becca wants a link so I can go live.
changed. I guess they changed their profile because it used to say, she was, Getty and Now This and something else. Said credentialed journalist, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's all blank now.
Yep. Oh, they are followed by Mrs. Krasenstein. Go figure.
Hmm.
It's a whole lot of crazy to fit in one person. I mean, that's a person. That's a human being taking up 3 dimensions of space in our universe, ladies and gentlemen.
sucking down my precious oxygen down her filthy windpipe. Disgrace.
Hey there, Costin.
So yeah, that was the that was the first thing I saw that was just like, okay, this could be worth talking about for a little bit. Because I mean, it's not gonna it's gonna keep going, you know. Like I saw that there's apparently up to like 30 cases of the new variant COVID strain in San Diego.
Is that the English one or?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's the tea and crumpets coof.
That's the Brexit coof.
I was gonna say,
So
the first time I heard that, I was like, okay, so what's the difference between this and smallpox?
apparently, I don't know if this one it's not more lethal, but I think it's more spreadable.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. It's more contagious rather than lethal. So I essentially just said, oh, okay, so it's exactly the same thing that we've been dealing with already. Cool.
So
I mean, if you think about it, how deadly has the virus actually been comparative to, the predictions that we were facing back in February and March of 2020? Like they were saying 2.2 million Americans are going to die. This is going to wipe out pretty much every third world country on the face of the planet. None of that has happened.
No.
well, weren't the hold on? I'm thinking I could be wrong. I could be just completely misremembering this, but weren't they thinking like on the low end, 500,000?
That might be
Wasn't that
from
like
somewhere,
one
I don't
estimate?
know. I don't know. All I know is like early on, like somebody threw out the number 2.2 million, and then
Yeah.
they said that's wishful thinking. And it's just like you do realize that this is really, for most people, it's no worse than getting a cold. It's only for like the elderly who are like 80 plus, who are probably going to croak any day now anyway, who have all these different kinds of like underlying health conditions. It's the coronavirus is kind of like the Ronald Reagan to our Soviet Union. Like the Soviet Union was already going to die anyway, but Ronald Reagan just kind of just stomped on their throat. That sort of thing. I don't know. Everything's exaggerated about it too, including the numbers and stuff, because every positive test that they perform, regardless of whether or not it was on the same individual, they count that as multiple different
Cases,
positive cases. And another thing though too is just the fact that when you have so many, you hear about all these like different hospitalizations and stuff, a lot of those people shouldn't really even be there. They're mainly just like, I have a slight fever or a sore throat or something like that. Yeah, whatever. But the hospital wants to keep them in there because they get subsidized for every patient that they have in there. I forget what it is, but it's like, what is it, like $40,000 per patient to put them on a ventilator?
I was hearing somewhere in that ballpark that was like 38, 39, 40,000 in that
Yeah,
range. But no, here's a hey Addie, how's it going? Here's my thing. Whenever you see a new round of doctors dancing on TikTok, expect another wave of this shit.
Yeah.
That's just God's way of punishing us.
That's my prediction methodology for all this. Every time I see a video going around of some nurses or doctors dancing in a fucking empty hallway in a hospital, we're about to get more cases of COVID. Everything else is just like it's white noise to me at this point.
Right.
But speaking of whites and noises,
Oh boy.
the next one I had up, Johnny, was a tweet from one Mr. Benjamin Crump,
Let me see if I can
and a story to follow along with it from CNN.
All right.
If you guys hadn't heard the news, the cop that shot Jacob Blake 7 times in the back not being charged. And I think they were smart to wait until January to make that determination because, from what I understand, winters in Wisconsin are cold, and there's probably gonna be less people out in the streets wanting to burn shit down.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see. I haven't actually heard anything about this.
It just broke I think like an hour or two ago.
This tweet.
No, I mean like the whole guy getting shot thing.
Oh, this. You didn't hear about Kyle Rittenhouse. You didn't hear about.
Well, I heard about
Kenosha?
Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, I heard about that.
That was in response to Jacob Blake getting shot.
Oh, okay. So this is
That's
like
where all the riots and shit were. Yeah, this is the guy who sexually assaulted a woman, and then like went to run off with like her debit card and car keys. And she finally,
this is the guy
that got
I just
paralyzed
thought
from
that
the
it was-
waist down. Yeah, this is that story.
Okay,
From, August of last year.
I had never heard about that because the only thing I ever heard about that was after the Rittenhouse thing, but after that it was just kind of like I always just assumed that it was part of like the activist trend that was going around at that time was just like it's hip and trendy to be a pest upon society.
Hey, Talik, how's it going? He says, interestingly timed on this day. Are you saying that because of the Senate races in Georgia, or is there something else, some other context I'm missing, Talik? Because I really have not been paying attention to those. I don't want to think about them. I'm sure somebody will stream about that later. I'm not in Georgia. I don't really care.
I'm sure whoever wins, they're going to want to recount all those ballots again. And then we're going to find some more nonsense, depending on, of course, who does pull ahead with that. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh,
Yeah.
the DC protesting. Okay, yeah. I just chalk it up to they wanted to wait as long as they could until it was nice and cold in Wisconsin, so Kenosha didn't catch fire again. But maybe I'm just being a cynic. Because I mean, you look at that shit, like in different angles of video in context. Like, what were they supposed to do after everything they'd already done?
Well, a dumpster
What was
fire.
there left to do except for shoot that guy?
A dumpster fire is more controllable when it's cold. So yeah.
So,
Well, so are rodents, but
the next one, the next link down is a USA or not USA Today. Why am I thinking USA Today? CNN article saying that the governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers, is going to mobilize 500 National Guardsmen to make sure that nothing catches fire in the middle of January. I mean, if you want to go ahead and read it, Johnny, I'm just giving the out two people. Goddamn CNN. This is why I can't take them seriously.
This was updated 12 minutes ago.
Maybe that's why they had two people writing it. Somebody wrote it and then another person updated it.
Or
that's me being charitable, at least.
Actually corrected something, maybe? Let's give it a shot. Let's see. Wisconsin is mobilizing the National Guard, and the city of Kenosha approved the emergency declaration Monday ahead of the announcement of the decision on possible charges of the police shooting of Jacob Blake in August. All one sentence. God, I can see why this annoys Scribe so much. Kenosha County District Attorney Michael Gravely will deliver his charging decision for the officer who shot 29-year-old black man within the first 2 weeks of January, according to the agenda of Monday's City Council meeting, which unanimously approved granting Mayor John something emergency powers once the announcement is made.
I think it's Antaramian.
Sure. A John Asshole. There we go. Let's see. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers announced Monday he is mobilizing 500 National Guard troops ahead of the decision at the request of local officials. Our members of the National Guard will be on hand to support local first responders, ensure Kenosans are able to assemble safely, and protect critical infrastructure as necessary, Evers said in the statement. Blake was shot 7 times in the back by a white Kenosha police officer, Rustin Sheshki.
Of course.
Of course, they have to include that.
Yeah. You know, you have to mention the fact that he's white. It's not news otherwise.
Responding to a call about a domestic incident on August 23rd, 2020. Domestic incident, huh? That's what you want to call it.
That might require a little bit more context.
Nah. It's good. It's fine. No biggie.
Well, I mean, domestic incidents.
It was
like,
you know, they were arguing about how loud to play the stereo. That's all it was. It was nothing. It was barely a noise complaint. They didn't need that many cops.
Do I just use the standard lock or do I deadbolt this one? Because last time I left the lock on, someone got out.
But yeah, that's the long and short of it. You know, they've got 500 National Guardsmen ready to stand around in case people decide to torch the place.
Which
Hmm?
yeah, they'll probably will.
Like, my favorite part of that whole story is the fact that dude is now paralyzed from the waist down. That was the favorite thing. My favorite thing to read in that whole article. But do we have any other thoughts around Kenosha? It's another side one. I didn't have a link for this one. Apparently, Kyle Rittenhouse pled not guilty in Kenosha. Was it yesterday or today? So a lot of stuff happening in and around Kenosha on this 5th of January. We got any other thoughts about it, or we want to keep moving on?
Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. Anybody who says otherwise is being too protective of our children. They need to learn how to grow up and shoot commies. That's my whole opinion. You cannot change it.
I wouldn't try and change it, but I wouldn't agree with that in totality either. I wouldn't say he's a hero. Just a dude who, shot people who were trying to attack him. That doesn't make you a hero.
Okay. Let's contextualize it then. Can we agree that he is at the very least a vermin exterminator?
At the very least, he has good trigger discipline. I'll give him that.
Yes. There you go.
I concur.
Basically wipe the sink of the gunk of the earth. Because if you look at into the guys that he shot, they had it coming. Regardless of whether or not they actually
he didn't shoot anybody that didn't need no shooting. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So
I got one more thing about the COOF. If you want to go to that next one, CNN.
Gotcha.
So, according to preliminary counts and CNN reporting, COVID-19 likely ranks as the 3rd leading cause of death in the U.S. in 2020. Further on down in the article, it talks about the excess deaths that they're predicting or, basing on numbers. And they're going off of the 2019 numbers. So,
what?
For deaths, like this is all preliminary. This is nothing set in stone. They're not saying that this is exactly the 3rd cause of death of the year. They're going based off of the count of COVID deaths they have and looking at, how many people died in 2019, where that would rank.
I thought we didn't even have any cases in 2019.
No.
Not in the United States.
No, they're looking at the leading
talking-
causes of death from 2019, and they're comparing the COVID numbers of dead to that to see where it would fit in.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So according to them, if we took all the COVID deaths from 2020, that would have been the third leading cause of death in 2019.
All right.
So
I
still
thought you were
not as
saying-
bad as cancer or heart disease. So I'm doubly fucked because I eat garbage food, I smoke like a chimney, and I do zero exercise.
This is I'm assuming this is all based on like health concerns and stuff, not like rate of people who die in like a car accident.
Well, they did have like they showed like the list of deaths from like 2019. This is gonna play anything in my ear. Don't do it. Yeah, in 2019, before the coronavirus emerged, the 10 leading causes of death in the United States were heart disease with 659,000, cancer with just under 600,000 at 599, unintentional injuries at 173,000. So the COVID numbers would fit in nicely between cancer and unintentional injuries there. Chronic lower respiratory disease, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, nephritis.
Yeah.
I had not heard of that one. Flu and pneumonia at number 9 and suicide at number 10. My question is, if when we get all of the 2020 numbers in, how much is that suicide number going to jump with all the lockdowns and stuff?
It's going to be huge.
Let's see. Nephritis is inflammation of the kidneys.
Ooh.
And may involve the glomeruli tubules.
All you had to say was inflation of the kidneys, and that already sounds painful enough.
Yeah, that's good enough. I don't need the
or tissues around the area. There we go.
But yeah, I imagine suicide numbers are going to go up. Flu and pneumonia cases are going to go down for 2020.
What was that?
Yeah.
We didn't have any flu or pneumonia related deaths? Wow. Oh, but look at this COVID stuff. This stuff's really killing them.
They're there. It's 49,783.
But yeah, they say our provisional death certificate data, though, through that point, show over 301,000 deaths involving COVID, which would likely place it third among leading causes of death. Their provisional data goes through December 26th, so they still got 5 more days of numbers have to go through after that.
Yeah, but how many people died
in those 5 days?
Yeah, in that span, it's probably more or less just going to be a rounding error.
All right.
Oh, no road riding today so far. Well, let me go ahead and knock on some wood there.
Yeah, things have been good, so we're happy with this.
Well, do you want to get unhappy?
I'm already unhappy.
Yeah, we know what's coming. We know what's coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've already seen the links, Johnny. You know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Make me sad, Camel. Ruin my day.
Well,
not Epstein sad, but just sad.
The Ivy League, specifically Columbia University, has a sex scandal on their hands involving minors.
Yay! I mean, boo!
A vice president at Columbia University allegedly sexually assaulted an 11-year-old girl in his house before playing a round of golf, authorities said Tuesday. Marcelo Velez, 56, of Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, was arrested Monday and slapped with charges of aggravated sexual assault and sexual assault by contact, according to authorities. The assault allegedly occurred sometime between 8:30 a.m. on January 2nd inside the guest room. After the incident, Velez left play 18 holes, according to court records. Why would you put that phrase in such a way? That's... God damn it, New York Post.
Well, I mean, listen. He may have played 18 holes.
I don't think they had all of this information in the article last time I read it.
Yeah. Well,
I think there's been an edit within a couple hours.
To be perfectly fair, he may have played 18 holes, but the hole he played before was not 18.
Thank you for illuminating on that.
You're welcome.
Puns make me sad.
Woodcliff Lake
There you
cops
go.
were tipped off Sunday to alleged acts inside Velez's home and made the arrest following an investigation by the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office Special Victims Unit. Dun dun. The office said in a release. I'm sorry, I don't have SoundPad open, so you'll just have to improvise here.
I was just going to say, if I only had SoundPad going.
Velez was also charged with endangering the welfare of a child, cops said. The relationship between the two was not known. He is listed as the Columbia University's vice president for Manhattanville Development, serving as the point person on all aspects of development, design, and construction of the university's 6.8 million square foot Manhattanville and West Harlem campus extension, according to the university website. He is on administrative leave and will cooperate fully. We have placed Mr. Velez on administrative leave and will cooperate fully with law enforcement officials investigating this matter, a university spokesperson said in an emailed statement. Yeah, that was the first. That was the first story on the New York Post website when I hopped over there earlier. It's like, God damn, Columbia University.
It's like, man.
Now I know why you mentioned Epstein before we started with that story.
Yeah. All right, let's get.
So are we getting bummed out now?
Yeah, let's raise it a little bit.
Yeah, the 11-year-olds kind of bum me out.
Well, I have one left from the New York Post, and I have one from NBC News. Which one do you guys want to go with?
I think NBC News will probably make me more angry, so it'll get me out of my bum mood. So let's go with that one.
All right. Well, there we go. Open that one up. Trans women retain athletic edge after. Fuck off. Leave me alone. Stop. There's a reason why I have an ad blocker.
Oh, that's not the one.
Trans women retain athletic edge after a year of hormone therapy, study finds. The findings raise questions about current Olympic guidelines, but the lead author cautions against using them to back bans in recreational and school sports.
So they're just now figuring this out?
Yeah, they're just now figuring this out. I mean, it couldn't have been like when that Australian dude was just shattering weightlifting records, or when he had Fallon Fox just beating the holy shit out of every woman that they put in the cage with her, or what about that one dude who went back to college as like a 50-year-old trans woman to play basketball? He was like 6'10" or whatever. There are a ton of different stories I could point to. Like, yeah, this don't look right.
Hey, my solution has always been just stick these people in the Special Olympics.
A new study suggests transgender women maintain an athletic advantage over their cisgender peers even after a year on hormone therapy. Yeah, I've actually known this for a couple of years just from listening to Joe Rogan. Like, he had like an endocrinologist he talked to about how when they're transitioning from testosterone to estrogen, that actually promotes bone density, and men have denser bones already. So especially in like a combat sport like boxing or kickboxing, MMA, like putting a dude on estrogen, it's just gonna it's not gonna make him hit less yeah.
It's not going to significantly decrease their level of strength.
Right.
Is what you're trying
Well,
to
I
get
mean,
at.
it may affect their strength, but like again, if you're throwing, punches and kicks, if you got denser bones than the other person, that's still going to cause some impact. It's not going to change, how the difference between a man's hips and a woman's hips, or
Right.
anything like that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. You can't put like a male cage fighter in the same fight as like a woman, for just the pure reason that it's socially unacceptable for men to hit women out of context, or well, even with context most of the time. But it's also the sheer fact that, and this is something that they choose not to acknowledge, is that biologically men are hardwired to be stronger than women. So if you put like a dude in a fist fight with a chick, it's never going to be even, unless you got like a really wimpy sort of dude, which, judging by some of these people that I've seen who actually do compete in these athletics, who are trans athletes, quote unquote, that's definitely not the case. You've got somebody who has been trained as a man, toned as a man, going up in a woman's world. But regardless, I've said my piece.
The results published last month in the British Journal of Sports Medicine could mean the current 1-year waiting period for Olympic athletes who are transitioning is inadequate. For the Olympic level, the elite level, I'd say probably 2 years is more realistic than 1 year, the study's lead author said. So they're not saying that, hey, there's still going to be a competitive advantage, it's not going to work out. They're saying, just wait 2 years instead of 1.
Yeah, they'll be a full-fledged female by that time.
I mean, like I said, like that Australian weightlifter is going to be competing at a more reasonable level. No, come on. That's not gonna change those records that they set as a quote unquote woman.
Right.
And I don't have any problem with a trans person competing necessarily. It's just if there's not that many of you, maybe have your own division, or maybe just have it to be like the like they wanted sports. Who was it I was thinking of? I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment. Pardon me.
It's the coffee.
But like have like a league where you have just like your natural athletes. Then you have like your steroid league. Just put the trans people in the steroid league.
Oh, that was Tosh.
Excuse
There
me.
you go, Daniel Tosh. I haven't actually seen Tosh in a while.
Yeah,
Now that I think of it.
He probably got in trouble with the woke mob, and now is unemployable.
Well, no, his show got canceled, but they're gonna continue to do it. I think over the internet, from what I understand. Because Comedy Central needs to make room for whatever bullshit they're gonna give to Anna Akana.
Well, I was gonna say that sort of show really lends itself more to an internet audience anyway,
But
rather than a TV one. Because I mean, I could probably pull a Daniel Tosh show. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm anywhere near as charismatic or talented enough to do that sort of thing, but I'm just saying, like, from a technical aspect, I have everything at my disposal to be able to do a show like that, and it won't cost however much the cable network was actually giving them to put it on. But
Oh yeah, there are shows that do that shit all the time. Even on
well, I
YouTube.
mean, look at Andrew Schultz. He started doing that during the lockdowns and everything with his YouTube channel, pretty much doing the same show that John Oliver's doing for HBO, except he just did it on YouTube, and now he's put it on Netflix.
And was it that after Tosh came out, it was a ridiculousness.
There was also Talk Soup before Tosh.
Well, yeah, and even Tosh said on one of the shows, he's like, "Yeah, this show is original. You've never seen it before," and it flashes Talk Soup.
Yeah,
which was odd enough. Had Greg Kinnear as a host.
Really?
Yeah.
I only remember Joel McHale and Aisha Taylor.
Man, you should feed that thing.
I'm sorry, that's my stomach.
We know.
Yeah.
No. That's like that's just the acid and stuff coming up. I've got the digestive system of like a 60-year-old man. I make a lot of weird noises.
We start talking about trans athletes and the bile just starts rising.
It's all about to come back up. It's all going to coalesce into a fountain.
The lead author, Timothy Roberts, a pediatrician and the director of the Adolescent Medicine Training Program at Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City, Missouri. At 1 year, the trans women on average still have an advantage over the cis women, he said, referring to cisgender or non-transgender women. You mean women? That's a whole lot of words to say women.
It harkens back to Carlin's addition of syllables to make it a softer word. Now it's people with vaginas.
Oh, apparently Roberts began investigating the athletic performance of transgender men and women while in the Air Force, working under co-author and physician Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Smalley at a clinic coordinating care for airmen beginning or continuing their gender transition. So this was taxpayer funded partially. Active duty service members are required to take a physical readiness test every 6 to 12 months. Roberts, Smalley, and another co-author, Dr. Daniel, Dale, Daniel. I ain't pronouncing that. Realized they had access to robust data on service members before, during, and after they started hormone replacement treatment. The three physicians conducted a retrospective review of medical records and fitness tests for 29 transgendered men and 46 transgender women from 2013 to 2018. The Air Force's fitness assessment includes the number of push-ups and sit-ups performed in a minute and the time required to run 1.5 miles. They also had records on when the subject started testosterone or estrogen, the type of hormone used, and the number of days from when treatment began to when their hormone levels reached the normal adult range for a cisgender person. For the first 2 years after starting hormones, the trans women in their review were able to do 10% more push-ups and 6% more sit-ups than their cisgender female counterparts. After 2 years, Roberts and told NBC News they were fairly equivalent to the cisgender women. Fairly equivalent. Hi, Mrs. Hellcat.
She already left the room.
Hmm.
Now she ordered us a printer because the printer that we have is either supremely outdated and we can't get ink for it, or everyone just bought all of the ink.
See, I use the Defense Department strategy. I just buy a new printer.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
You see, you used the word order, and now you made me hungry for Domino's.
I'm still stuck on that. Fairly equivalent to the cisgender. Their running times declined as well, but 2 years on, the trans women were still 12% faster on the 1.5 mile than their cisgender peers. Do you think maybe it has to do with the fact that maybe they were taller? Starting out as men and everything.
Well, what's the scientific rounding error? It's like a fraction of a percentage, right?
I have no idea. But I just wish they were a little more specific on what they mean by fairly equivalent.
By that, they mean not at all.
Unsurprisingly, testosterone affected the fitness scores of the transgender men they reviewed. Prior to starting hormones, they performed fewer push-ups and had slower running times than the cisgender men in the control group. A year into treatment, though, those differences disappeared. Well, yeah, man, if you gave me a shit ton of steroids, I'm sure my fitness level will improve dramatically as well. With sit-ups, the trans men were comparable to the cisgender men before treatment and actually exceeded them after a year on testosterone. Yeah, man, because they were juiced. Anybody who watched baseball in the 90s knows this already, man.
Yeah.
He said he's not suggesting being in the military is the same as being an elite athlete, but he added, it's a comparable situation where you have someone doing whatever they can to maintain or improve their abilities. I mean, don't we kind of want the military to be like elite athletes?
How
about we just give testosterone to everybody? You sign on the dotted line, they give you an M16 and a shot in the ass. And they send you on your way. Yeah, this keeps going, but yeah, it's a whole bunch of duh. We've known for a while that trans athletes are still going to perform, at least trans women athletes, for some period of time after they've transitioned. We've known this, but I just thought it was interesting that they're finally coming out and saying it, in a study.
Well, they're not really saying too much about it if they're saying that they're still comparable.
Oh yeah, the last one I had was going back to the post, and I just thought it was funny because me and the girlfriend binge watched Cobra Kai on New Year's Day when it came out, and when I saw that headline, I was like, But Zimbabwean teen teaches Taekwondo to fight child marriage.
Okay.
In Zimbabwe, where girls are as young as 10 are forced to marry due to poverty or traditional and religious practices, a teenage Taekwondo enthusiast is using the sport to give girls in an impoverished community a fighting chance at life.
Okay,
is this teaching how to matrix dodge like AK-47 bullets or what?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, most of these people that they're getting married off to are like African warlords. Don't they have guns?
Your kung fu is not as strong as an RPG, bitch. That's all I'm saying. Now get in the truck.
Want to know where Coney is? We'll take you straight to him. That's an
Heard y'all been looking for that dude since 2012.
Right. Oh, they've been looking for him longer than that, yeah. I'm surprised he isn't dead yet, though.
Maybe he is. Who knows? Who cares? I don't think anybody cared about him. When did that come out in 2012?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Coney 2012.
Wait, yeah, when did that come out? Like, within a month of that, people stopped giving a shit.
Yeah, it's... Well, I mean, that's like I said, activism is a trend anymore. Nobody really believes in anything that they're saying anymore. It's just that it's cool to think that you have some sort of moral principle that you can hold over somebody else and just say, hey, look at what a great person I am. I believe that, common sense sort of thing. Children shouldn't be sold into slavery. That sort of thing.
It would have gotten further along, if the dude hadn't also been just.
Well, yeah, he snapped.
The bishop,
Yeah, he snapped after a while.
Not many people do Taekwondo here, so it's fascinating for the girls, both married and single. So wait, you're teaching married chicks too? Like, I thought the whole point was to fight child marriage. I use it to get their attention, said 17-year-old foreign. A martial arts man since the age of 5 who is now using Taekwondo to rally young girls and mothers to join hands and fight child marriage. Children as young as 4 and some of Foreign's former schoolmates who are now married line up on a tiny, dusty yard outside her parents' home in the poor Epworth settlement about 15 kilometers south of the capital. They enthusiastically follow her instructions to stretch, kick, strike, punch, and spar. After class, they talk about the dangers of child marriage, holding their babies. The recently married girls took the lead. Now just imagine like that song, like everybody was kung fu fighting, except like they've got like a baby on their hip while they're throwing kicks.
No. The baby's a weapon. So it's a little melee thing, they're swinging around like a mace. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Baby chucks.
Have you guys ever seen the? It was like some sort of like comic or whatever, where the main villain, in order to keep himself from getting shot, he strapped a whole bunch of babies onto himself. And he's like, oh, what are you going to do now? If you shoot me in like the head or something like that, I'm just going to fall over and I'm going to squish some of these babies. And obviously you can't shoot me in the arms or anything else like that. So what are you going to do, bud? Huh? I got baby shields.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah, it was like a meme there for a time.
One after the other, they narrated how their marriages have turned into bondage, including verbal and physical abuse, veritable rape, pregnancy-related health complications, and being hungry. I don't think that the marriage is what made you hungry. I think living in Zimbabwe is what made you hungry.
There it is.
Yeah, I've never heard of somebody, getting married and that was the cause of their hunger. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. An ingenious plan, if I do say so myself.
Oh, so that's a legit comic.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like
America?
It wasn't like one of those jokey comics. It was like just something that one of the writers just kind of threw out there. And I mean, it was kind of like a jump the shark sort of moment, but it was meant to be taken completely seriously.
Yeah, I want to say that was like a Captain America or something, because I do remember seeing that panel now. But I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, it was some sort of like mainstream comic or whatever.
We are not ready for this thing called marriage. We are just too young for it. She told the Associated Press after the session, which she said is a safe space for the girls to share ideas.
Oh, God.
You live in Zimbabwe. There are no such thing.
I was going to say, after she called it a safe space, how quickly did the journalists pack up and leave as soon as the interview was over? I'd be getting out of Dodge.
You can't.
Oh my God! Someone actually did a thing.
I think what I think is funny is like there are three pictures they use in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you would have thought, from like the headline and everything, like they're focused. The article so far has been focused on girls.
Yeah,
but like two of the photos, you can see like she's the only chick in the photo. Like there's like 4 dudes throwing kicks, in this photo with her. Like, I thought you were teaching the women how to defend themselves.
Those are the potential suitors.
Yeah, this one dude here in the last photo, you're teaching him how to give his wife a front kick to the face when she don't have dinner ready on time. But yeah, that's all the stuff that I had, just to end it there.
I put a link into because of that meme. This popped up. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me! Someone actually did a video called "Would a Baby Shield Actually Work?"
Yeah,
and it's by Donut Operator actually.
I think I watched that before, and I think the consensus was no.
Mr. Dask asks, why don't they do the no swear song and dance? Well, this was a New York Post article. I imagine that would be on the BBC Pigeon. You might check over there for that one.
My thought would be they saw the white people doing that and were like, we're not even touching that.
It's like, are you kidding me? We've got rhythm. But yeah, I just thought, seeing all the different stuff going on today is like, wow, this is a whole bunch of ridiculousness. People acting an ass on social media, and they get mad when somebody points out they're being an ass on social media. Not understanding, what doxing means. It's, that's classic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been dealing with that for how many years now?
Yeah, I mean, it's another day that ends in Y, but it still amazes me nonetheless every time I hear someone making that argument. It's like, you don't know what doxing is, do you?
Right.
Like, I thought we all had a commonly understood and held definition of what that meant, but no, we don't. Every time I hear it, it means something else.
It's eventually going to get to the point where if you have a face, you've been doxed.
Yeah.
Just in general. Not even on like social media or anything like that. It's like if I were to say like, hey, some Asian guy stole my wallet, somebody else will be like, oh, why are you trying to dox that guy?
Well,
it's like, well, he stole my wallet.
Go ahead and pull up this thing Messiah dropped in the side chat.
Oh, yeah. This is
from fansided.com. 5 potential team names for Cleveland baseball team. Now, you guys been listening to me and Johnny for a while. You know how we feel about the renaming of the teams and whatnot. Johnny wasn't a fan of Chief Wahoo. He didn't mind when they got rid of him. I liked Chief Wahoo. I thought he was funny. And it made white people squirm, so I was cool with it.
No, I gotta say that's the only positive aspect of Chief Wahoo. I wouldn't laugh at that ever.
But yeah, so we've got 5 potential names to change the Cleveland. I'm surprised they haven't decided just to go with Cleveland baseball team, just in solidarity with the spineless footballers in Washington. They're parting ways with their old nickname amid decades of debate over the offensive nature of that moniker after the 2021 season has concluded. Cleveland will need to act fast if they want to get a new name, but one of these 5 choices can help the fan base turn the page and enter a new era of Cleveland baseball. It's still Cleveland. You guys still suck. I mean,
if we want to go by what Cleveland is famous for, we should just call ourselves the Flaming Rivers.
I mean, at this point, it's not really going to be so much of a new era. It's just a different flavor of shit. So,
pretty much,
which is why I'm surprised that Cleveland Steamers didn't make the list. But
no, it did not.
I could have worked with that one. I would have bought a jersey. I would have thought that was funny.
Mr. No, the Cleveland Punjabis.
The Cleveland Buckeyes. While this name would be shared with Ohio State sports team, the Buckeye Nut and the state. That's what it is. The Buckeye is a nut.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think it was?
I had no idea. I never really cared. I never thought to ask.
It's okay. But now, nobody outside of Ohio does.
But now I'm sitting there wondering, like, so Ohio State is just a bunch of nuts. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if we want to go by like state iconography, could just call ourselves the Cleveland Cardinals.
I'm saying, like, it's either the Indians or the Steamers. You're not gonna get me without having one of those two. I'm not on board. Well, whatever you change it to.
Plus, there's already a Cardinals team for the
St. Louis.
Who cares?
No one likes them either.
Here's a reason why they're suggesting it. The Buckeyes were a Negro League team that played in Cleveland from 1942 to 1950, winning a championship in 1945. With many of the supporters of the old moniker crowing about the name's historical importance, what better way to sate their desires than looking back into the history and honoring those Negro League pioneers in 2020? With both a modern and historical connection, this name will certainly be among the finalists. Yeah, but you're going to have, like, a bunch of Cubans and Dominicans and the odd Japanese dude playing for the team. You're not going to have a bunch of. Moving on, the Cleveland Guardians. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing Guardian for anything.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
I don't care. I don't care if it's for the Galaxy. I don't care if it's fucking Space Force. And I'm sure as shit better not be for baseball. Are you kidding me? The Guardians. No.
It's a very generic name too.
Well, I mean, oh, sorry.
Pretty much every name on this list is generic, but
yeah, Mr.
Guardians
No says
especially.
He says, "So ditch the red man for the black man." Pretty much. I mean, that's what I saw going around with when they decided to get rid of the Redskins. They were trying to say, "Well, how about the Red Tails?" Which was a fighter pilots back in World War II.
Yeah, somebody could take that out of context and say it's supposed to be for furries.
Red Tails.
They were meant to be like, was it Red Tail Hawks? And that's where the fighter pilot unit got its name from, as well. Passengers on the Hope Memorial Bridge are all too familiar with the 8 Guardians of Traffic monolithic statues that gaze down over the bustling Cleveland highway system. One of these statues is just a stone's throw away from Progressive Field. The Guardian's name would be cool in any context. No, it wouldn't. But the added tie-in with local architecture makes this a potential rebrand candidate. No, it really doesn't.
No, those statues, I just know from living semi-close to Cleveland, those things get vandalized all the time. Then again, everything in Cleveland does, but...
I was going to say, it's like, how can you tell?
Yeah, nobody really cares for any, like, architecture in Cleveland and stuff like that, because we got, like, public art displays and stuff like that, like the giant sculptures that they just decide to stick in the middle of a park somewhere. Nobody really recognizes them, nor really pays them any kind of mind. It's not like we're going to make, like, a tourism video for Cleveland anytime soon, but if we did, those sorts of things would just like fly under everybody's radar just because nobody even really remembers that they exist.
Be honest, if you guys were going to make a tourism for Cleveland video, it would just be the opening theme from the Drew Carey show.
Well, I mean, we already have. Hold on, I gotta find it. I'll send this to you guys.
Hey, Three Force. Yoda.
Number 3 on the list is the Cleveland Gladiators.
Before you start this next one, one of the towns around here, actually it was the capital. They wanted to promote art and tourism, so they posted, or they had these bears painted with like local artists and like spread around town, and within, I'd say about 3 to 4 weeks, all but one of them was vandalized, and so they just got rid of them. It's almost like that kind of shit doesn't work.
Yeah. But yeah, the Cleveland Gladiators. The Gladiators were an old AFL team that just folded a few seasons ago. It's a shame that this team went belly up because the Gladiators' name is extremely underrated.
Is it?
No.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's like...
Who wouldn't want to root for a team named after warriors who fought to the death in pursuit of victory and the entertainment of an adoring fan base? It's fucking baseball! Come on!
No, and they're gonna... If they do decide to go with the Gladiators, they're just gonna turn it on their head because historically the Gladiators were mostly all Roman slaves. You have a bunch of black people playing for a team named after slaves. Oops.
All right.
Congratulations, you just started a whole new riot.
I had to start up SoundPad for this.
Is it though?
That's it.
It's not working very well.
Yeah, I
didn't hear anything.
Yeah. They probably heard it in chat, so that's
okay. Fair enough.
Number 2 on the list, the Cleveland Blues.
Because when I hear the Blues, I think, hey, is that from Cleveland?
Yeah, yeah. Every time, like the local rock station plays their blues show, I just think like, man, I feel like I'm in Cleveland right now. Wow, this is depressing.
Oh my god.
Rather than entertain the silly Cleveland Rockers nickname by drawing inspiration from the nearby Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, blues is a much more muted option that still has musical connection given the large overlap between the blues and early rock and roll. Uh, yeah,
But
there's
Cleveland's
also
more known for our rock and roll.
Hence
There's
there
also-
being a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
well, there's also the case of the St. Louis Blues, which is a NHL team. And like the whole point of having this mascot is to be unique, to set yourself apart from other professional sports organizations, whether it be in your sport or in general. So yeah, taking the name the Cleveland Blues ain't gonna do shit for you.
We'll just
Because then they'll
meet in
just
the
wonder,
middle. We'll
like-
call them the Cleveland Blue Sox.
Because then they're gonna wonder, it's like, well, wait, did Cleveland get an NHL team? What?
So is the mascot going to be some down and out black dude with a trombone in one or a trumpet in one hand and a...
Well, this is how far back they've got to reach for a historical connection. Way back in 1879, Cleveland's first National League baseball team was known as the Blues, with the name resurfacing in 1888. So apparently that team didn't even last a full fucking decade before they had to recycle the name.
It is pretty generic, to be fair. I think even people back in the 1800s wouldn't really be too entertained by it.
All of these names so far are all generic.
Oh, yeah.
If Cleveland keeps their current color scheme and tweaks their logos in order to lean into the musical theme of the nickname, they might end up with a perfect new look that satisfies older and younger fans alike. First of all, it's baseball, so your fans are going to skew older to begin with. Secondly, the only people that listen to blues music were people that were around when it was invented. Come on. That's not going to do anything but make your fan base, just this shy of Methuselah. Number 1. The Cleveland Spiders.
Yeah, this is one I keep hearing all the time, too. I think this is the one that they're going to go with.
As enticing as some of those other names are. Okay, who the fuck wrote this? Mike Luciano. Mike... I feel like I need to have a word with you, Mike, about what you consider enticing. Because we have just so much difference of opinion as to that definition. Spiders appear to be the clear frontrunner at this juncture. Before the Indians and the bizarrely named Cleveland Naps were in the American League, the Spiders were a member of the National League from 1889 to 1899. Oh, this man should make it a decade, actually.
Woo!
While success was often hard to come by, the immortal Cy Young himself pitched more games as a Spider than he did with any other franchise. Wait a second. Stop. Time out. Cy Young, a man that they have been saying for at least as long as I can remember, was a racist son of a bitch. You want to take the team that he pitched for and make them your mascot. So you want to be racist by proxy. Because that's how it's going to work. If you use this as a justification for picking that name. Oh, well, Cy Young pitched for him. Outside of the University of Richmond, the Spiders' team nickname has been woefully, criminally underutilized, despite being a creature that strikes fear into the hearts of so many. With a tie-in to their past and the potential for hundreds of creative and cool designs that could be derived from that name. Few Indians would... Okay, Mike, you also need an editor, too. Few Indians would reject being called Spiders in 2022.
Oh, boy.
Mike, come see me after class. We need to have a discussion.
Someone failed English.
When I'm pointing out your mistakes, you know you done fucked up, son.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, this whole article read out like, some generic puff piece that you might see for like a college assignment or something like that in the first place. But I mean,
Well, see,
even still,
right there, Tally just threw one out. Cleveland Wildcats. There are, as far as I know, no professional teams with the Wildcat mascot.
Yeah, there is.
They could go with,
I think there's a couple colleges, but
well, you have like Arizona, Kentucky. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, those would be the big ones, and they're most known for basketball, not baseball. So at least that way you could distinguish yourself with a mascot like that. Even generically, Wildcats. I mean, that would still be better than anything that they've proffered in this list.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure jokingly in the chat right now, Johnny's kid aside, the rest of the chat could come up with just half-assed mascot ideas that would sound so much better.
Well, I mean, hell, Scarecrow even brought up the bees, which would be far more inventive than fucking.
You could just have like that clip
balloons.
of Nicolas Cage playing every time they run out on the field. Not the bees! Not the bees!
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no, I personally I would prefer if we just kept the Indians. It's what's already on all of our different paraphernalia and stuff like that, and
I will go one step further. I want Chief Wahoo back. I don't just want to keep the Indians. I want Chief Wahoo back too.
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody who knows my stance on anything as far as it comes to, like censoring or completely changing things just because the social political norms change, over time, I just don't, I don't agree with it for the most part. It almost sounds like revisionism, but if we were to if we were to actually change the name, I already threw it out earlier in the stream. Just call ourselves the Flaming Rivers. That's what Cleveland is famous for.
And disgusting sex acts.
Well, so is New York.
Well, that's why I was in favor of the steamers. I mean, it's either the Indians or the steamers. Those are your options. Choose wisely.
All right.
Did you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up? Because I feel like I've been just all over the place today.
No,
you've been on it. No, I am going to avoid Timmy because, as downer as this stream has gone, we need something that's at least a little bit more humorously ridiculous.
I enjoy. I mean, Tim, he pisses me off every time I read his articles, but I still enjoy looking at him and realizing that I pass the paint swatch test better than he does.
Oh yeah,
there's always that little bit of a at least I got that over him.
he is glowingly white. Like you can throw him in a cave and help lost travelers escape the darkness that is the inner workings of the cave system.
Yeah.
But so I do have a question though.
Okay, I might have an answer.
Beings as we are native,
some more than others.
Do you have a symbol that shows that you are proud to be a native?
What do you mean, like a dream catcher or something?
Or something. I mean, yeah. Do you have a symbol that's just like, I'm native because of this? I am proud of who I am because of this.
No.
I don't have any one of those for being white.
A lot of the tribal members in my area have license plates, through the tribe.
Yeah. We have quite a few of those up here too.
That's not so much necessarily because of, oh, I'm proud to be Choctaws. It's just cheaper than paying for, the state plates. But I'm opposed to even going that far. It's like, nah, man, I own a vehicle that's old enough that buying the state tag ain't gonna cost me much. Convince the Jews to go around and get their own personalized license plates like that, and then maybe I'll be on board. But as long as they're my canary in the coal mine. As long as they're gun shy about something like that, I ain't doing it.
Okay, well, from boardrooms to powwows.
To powwow streams.
Ribbon shirts are a visual symbol of Native pride. If you don't know...
I'm sorry, what?
Ribbon shirts.
Are those like those things with like the tassels and stuff on them?
That is this. Yeah, they are very...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
We don't even sell this kind of shit in our gift shops. Are you kidding me? No.
Every time I ever see an Indian walking around, he's always wearing a jean jacket. Never seen one of these things.
I have never seen anyone who wasn't 90 years old wearing one of these. Ever.
I mean, I've seen more white people in dreadlocks wearing shit like this than I have Indians.
You see more Italians wearing this than Indians. That is a very obscure reference that I don't think anybody's going to get.
We get it.
Good.
That's
yeah. Like I said, we don't even sell this shit in the gift shops. Don't stop it, Tim.
This isn't even Tim. This is just
okay.
This is from NativeAmericanCalling.com. Let's see. They can be subtle or showy, but ribbon shirts almost have a hint of professional expression and tribal tradition. They're usually made from cotton or linen, often with long sleeves, but not always, with colorful ribbons appliqued or sewn into the seams as tassels. So strippers. Like many native fashion trends, ribbon shirts owe their origins and inspirations to a number of sources. We spent an hour discussing the history and evolution of ribbon shirts. And then there's
how many of those sources are white people?
I don't even want to know.
Well, I always find it funny, like when they say like a number of sources, like there's at least, one white dude they don't want to give credit to. Like I'm supposed to believe that they had cotton clothing and shit figured out before white people showed up. Okay, cool.
Let's find some gaudy ones.
Okay, I take it back. We may sell something like that in a gift shop somewhere, but I've never seen anyone buy it.
Yeah, you'll probably find some white guy who's just like, oh man, I bought this off some medicine man in a reservation down off a...
Okay, now that last one you just
I-15.
showed, the turtle, that could possibly be Choctaw shit right there.
Which one?
Top row in the middle, blue one. It's got a turtle on it.
Ah, yeah.
That thing that vaguely looks like a turtle.
A Choctaw diamond shirt.
Ah, called it. And I'm telling you right now, in Oklahoma, nobody's wearing this. Mississippi, maybe. I cannot speak for the Mississippi Choctaw.
I gotta say, if I see anyone at the powwow in this, it's probably because their parents made them do it.
Yeah, if they're under the age of 18 and they're wearing that, it's like a vegan cat. We know who's making the decisions.
Well, I mean, let me pose a question to you two guys, because obviously it affects you guys more than it does me. But whenever people talk about like native pride symbols and nonsense like that, and then they point to something from a very specific tribe from a specific part of the country that may not at all intersect with your own, isn't that like a little bit more insulting than just insinuating that you don't have one in the first place?
Well, I've actually got a story similar to that. It was when I was working for my tribe.
See, this is where you'll see the ribbon shirts.
Yeah. Um, a white lady and a black dude came in together. You know, they were a couple, and I guess he worked in the oil field, and she was just a hippie chick, and she asked if like we were supporting the protests. I was like, "What protests?" She goes, "Oh, you know, the pipeline protest. You know, because this was all about the Standing Rock
Oh,
protest, like what 2016,
yes.
2015,
So.
2016."
Yeah, something around that
And I
time.
was like I hadn't heard about it. No. She says, "Oh, well, you should look into it, man. You know, we stand with the Indians. Water is life." And I was like, which Indians are you talking about, lady? You know, like she couldn't even tell me what tribe it was. I was like, well, okay, well, we're Choctaw here, right? See all this around Choctaw, and this is Oklahoma. We don't give a shit about them. That's far, far away. We don't care. Unless that pipeline's coming to give us oil, we don't give a shit. So you have fun with that.
I find it funny that this also comes up when I typed in ribbon shirt.
Now, see that I've seen many Indians wearing.
I've seen more Indians wearing this ribbon shirt than any other ribbon shirt.
I couldn't help but laugh, but that's not a joke. So, yeah, anytime, like one of my biggest jokes running with Johnny has been like, anytime I hear the somebody mention the Navajo, oh, fuck the Navajo. Yeah.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, that's fuck the Navajo.
Still waiting on the Choctaw Code Talker movie. They get all the good press.
They're the ones that complain the most, I guess.
and it'll still star Graham Greene and Wes Studi and Adam Beach, who aren't
Navajo
anywhere near
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Wes Studi is Cherokee.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Adam Beach is.
Adam Beach is a Canadian.
Ah.
That's really all I know offhand.
And then Graham Greene. What tribe's he again? I can't remember. All I know is like we don't have any of the cool ones in the Choctaw. So
Graham Greene is not that guy. Wow. That is
Oh, you get the author instead?
Yeah. Let's see, Six Nations Reserve in Canada.
Oh, also a Canadian.
Well, now you really don't care.
Oh, that's why we stay in West Studi here. Deep Rising is one of my favorite movies. Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah.
Apparently we should be making
he's Oneida.
Comments about Terry while he's AFK. We should be saying good things about him.
We should.
It's according to the chat. Richo's upset that we didn't get him on to talk. He says that Terry is way funnier than the rest of us. I noticed that,
Yeah.
Richo's still sitting here listening too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
explains the alcoholism. Well, I think that's the response to the Pabst shirt. I mean, let's face it. They have way better design than the other ones. So, but now, I for the life of me, I can't understand why all the different Indians get lumped in together.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's kind of the same thing that they do with, the whites.
Yeah, any other group, yeah.
Well, definitely with like in regards to the dot Indians as well. But like most of these people, they can't tell you the difference between an insular Celt and a continental Celt, or somebody who's Gaelic or Germanic, that sort of thing. It's just like we divide so much based on color of our skin that we don't even like really pay attention to the actual historical context behind any of this. I'm sorry, I'm letting my mythological studies bleed out.
Well, I always thought it was funny, just seeing the ridiculous representations of movies and stuff. Like my favorite movie Indian has got to be the one from McClintock. Yeah, McClintock, good party, no whiskey, we go now. The dude's just drunk the entire movie.
Let's see, who do they got on that one?
Oh yes, got to hit the IMDb. Got to keep it the format. Now, if you tell me that's another Italian playing an Indian, my heart's gonna be broken, Johnny.
Offhand, I can't tell because I haven't seen the full movie. But given that this is the only native sounding, Perry Lopez. Perry, known as Julius Caesar Lopez.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very Indian.
No, that sounds more.
No, that's the actor's name. The character's name is Davy Elk.
Well, still, if it's like a Mexican that they got to play an Indian, I don't know. I prefer the good old days of blackface.
Oh,
just put a white guy in some black makeup, and there you go.
Charles Horvath. He certainly looks the part. Let's see.
Yeah, it figures.
Well, hard to tell because it's bringing up someone who disappeared in...
Cynic says, I try to debunk the drunken domestic violence Irish stereotype, but my grandfather hid beer in the hedges so he could day drink, and his wife hit him in the head with a hatchet, so...
I'll do you one better. My great-grandfather... Or, no, this would be my great-great-grandfather. He used to keep a bottle of whiskey in his car, and it was specifically so if he ever got pulled over by an Irish cop, he could bribe him into letting him off.
You know why it pulled you over, sir? Because you could smell it.
No, he got away with it several times, from what I understand.
Random American says, or a black guy in black makeup. He just can't look directly at the crowd. That makes me think of the Deuce Bigelow European Gigolo with Eddie Griffin. He's like hiding out. He's like I'm in disguise, man. Like, what's your disguise? Like, I'm in blackface. But you're already black. What are we trying to say? All black people look alike? That's racist. Cynic says he's still finding bottle caps in the yard with a metal detector. Holy shit, dude.
Nice.
How long ago was this? How long have you been at it with a metal detector, man?
So I think we've reached the end.
Unless you guys or chat have anything else to bring up. It's been a pretty busy day. Like, everything that we've talked about up to this point, I pretty much found like an hour. So, and I haven't gone back to look since. We may be, at the start of World War III right now. I wouldn't know.
I am incapable of looking, so you guys would probably know before me. But
apparently, according to the Post, Kanye and Kim are getting divorced.
oh wow, the inevitability.
I think it would be hilarious if she had to pay him alimony like Roseanne did with what's his face.
I think it would be
Tomorrow.
more hilarious if Kanye didn't have a prenup. Come on, seriously, nobody got that.
I mean, but yeah, that's the first thing I saw scrolling through. Nothing else really catching my eye as of yet.
I have to redo this thing real quick. I will. Bit of a palate cleanser.
What's up?
I'm setting up a palate cleanser.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, so the biggest news so far trending on Twitter is still Jacob Blake.
Oh, great.
Who is Sports Center has got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trending apparently because Shaq wants to know who is the best center of all time. Well, who got the most rings? I'm pretty sure that's still Bill Russell. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain, he's got the record for most points scored in a game with 100. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's got the most points scored all time.
Well, and the most points scored after the game with over 100. He's a bit of a whore.
Didn't he say he was in the thousands?
Well, it's definitely over 100. That's all I know. Okay. Well, here we go. This one.
Yeah. Aside from basketball, Wilt Chamberlain's autobiography would read like a letter at Penthouse Forum, from what I understand.
Hey, I mean, if you got it, you got it.
That's all I got for that.
So your wife just, waddles over to your ankle and just starts screeching at you about her day. Is that what you're saying?
That's pretty much.
I don't know how she'd appreciate that, Johnny. Seems kind of rude.
Well, that's any wife, really. It's not necessarily mine.
Hey, listen, if she doesn't leave you because of it, then you've got a good solid foundation or whatever. I don't know. I don't really read relationship magazines. God, I gotta get my brain back into swing of things for streaming. I've been doing too much mythology.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since we just got to hang around and bullshit and talk about some stuff going on that seems kind of interesting or funny.
Yeah.
The only other thing I've got I haven't had a chance to read yet is about Venezuela, and I'll get to that later because I don't know nearly enough to try and stream about it. So. It's been fun. Chat, you guys got anything you want to talk about? Or Seneca? When did the bottle cap start? Huh? Still waiting to hear about that. But other than that, I got nothing, guys. I'm all tapped out.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Yeah, I'm just naturally a boring person anyway, so.
Well, I think this would probably be a good time to call it then.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close to getting ready to set up dinner, so.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've already heard one stomach growling.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always hungry, so.
Oh, so Random's going to be streaming some Battle Mech over on DLive. You guys go check that out.
Yeah.
And Terry's asking, Johnny, have you played Blaze Blue lately?
I've been doing some free matches. I was just thinking about messaging you, but we should see about getting. See if there's just like an open invite type thing to just bring in people to fight.
And
Because
going back through.
Blaze
Sorry.
Blue is a anime tizzy physic fighting game, which I've streamed a couple times. So it's
Senate can't talk because he's eating jerky. Well, now I wonder what kind of jerky it is, man. Like you had me intrigued with the bottle caps. Now, like we talking like teriyaki? We talking like peppered? Is it like a specialty, like Australian meat? You got some emu jerky there, man? Maybe a little dingo. I wonder what koala jerky would be like. You think that would be, that'd be good?
From what I hear, it's very tender.
Random says emu jerky cannot be bit into. Well, apparently they can't be shot into either. So, I mean,
Says the government that declared war on emus and lost. So,
ooh, some kangaroo jerky. There you go. See, now I'm just making myself hungry thinking of all the different types of jerky they could have in Australia.
yeah.
well, gentlemen, it has been fun. Thank you for having me on. But I should probably get going here. We're probably going to be eating here fairly soon, and
Yeah.
I've been holding in a waz for the past 20 minutes. So,
Yeah, definitely out of streaming shape then, huh?
Yes.
All right, man. It was fun hanging out, dude.
yeah.
Thanks everyone in chat for showing up.
Oh, Terry says he's had kangaroo jerky before. Well, I'll talk to you about that later, Terry.
Well, in any case, I will stay in touch with you guys and see you when I see you.
You guys have a good day.
Yep.
All right. Bye, everybody.